So we talk a lot about credit often on this channel, and in particular, the best ways to improve credit scores through various tricks and best practices. Along with the positive things that you can do to have fantastic credit, there are also several negative things that you're going to want to avoid at all costs. So in today's video, we're going to look at the 7 deadly sins when it comes to your FICO scores. That's coming up next. Hey guys, welcome back to the VIP Financial Ed channel, where we help you go further, faster financially. My name is Matthew Pillmore. I'm the president of VIP Financial Education, and we're gonna be talking about credit scores and specifically the 7 things that you want to avoid in order to keep your credit scores exactly where you want them. The better they are, the more wealth you can create. So the first deadly sin is an obvious one. This is where you have significant or serious late payments. And we're talking late payments of 30 days or longer. So obviously the longer you're late, the worse off it's going to count against you. But a common misconception is that a 30-day late payment doesn't really affect your credit scores. The truth is, it will have a negative impact on your credit score. Sometimes it's bigger than other times, but paying on time is worth 35% of your overall score's health. So it's gonna have a negative impact, and late payments can remain on your credit report for 7 years. So your best bet is to make sure that you're always paying on time, if not early. The second sin are collections, and the moment a lender enlists the help of a third-party collection agency to recover money that you owe on that account, you're in bad shape. Though you may be able to rectify it before the collection agency reports the collection account to the credit bureaus, you should never put yourself in this position in the first place. If circumstances are making this situation look likely for you, it's always in your best interests to get on the phone, communicate very, very well, work with your lender before they get a collection agency involved. You don't want to avoid dealing with the situation, as it's only going to get worse and worse and worse progressively once a collection agency is actually involved. This too will remain on your credit report for up to 7 years. The third sin are settlements. Let's say you found yourself in a situation where collections were looking probable because you were unable to keep up with one of your loans. And so to avoid collections, you decided to negotiate a settlement with that lender. Though this did keep it out of collections, the fact that you actually paid only a portion of what you owe will still negatively affect your credit report. And interestingly, mortgage short sales are often reported as settlements too, so that's something to keep in mind if you overextend yourself with your home. Settlements will also remain on your credit report for as long as 7 years. The fourth sin I want to discuss are public records, and these are things like bankruptcy, tax liens, judgments against you, etc. And there is no such thing as a good public record when it comes to your credit reporting. Bankruptcies can remain on your credit report for up to 10 years, pretty painful, judgments for 7, and unpaid tax liens can stay indefinitely. So steer clear of these things at all costs. Now, the fifth deadly sin are charge-offs. And charge-offs are when a lender acknowledges that they're not gonna get paid, and basically they're throwing in the towel when it comes to your loan. And just like numbers 1 through 3, charge-offs can also remain on your credit report for 7 years. The sixth are repossessions. And I think we can agree that repossessions are not just embarrassing, but they do look terrible on credit reports. No big surprise. So be sure you're paying for your vehicles, things like your car, your boat, your motorcycle loans. These are the most typical type of purchases that are associated with repossessions, but other things like household items, televisions, furnitures, any other items that you finance where there's collateral, an item purchased, those things can be repossessed as well. And repossessions will also hang on your credit report for 7 years. So again, definitely this is a conversation about not overextending ourselves. The last deadly sin are foreclosures. And this is an obvious one too, I realize, but the key here is if you're unable to pay your mortgage, then the bank is going to want the house back, duh. Not only is this an awful thing to go through, having to quickly move your possessions out, find another place to live, but in most cases, they even send the police to escort you out. So seeing that on your credit report for the next 7 years is gonna just bring back lots of bad memories for you. To wrap things up, guys, it's important to know that these 7 deadly sins for your credit are gonna stick around for quite a while. They can really put a wrench in your future plans. And that's the last thing you want, especially as we approach what many believe is going to be another big recession. It can also result in having to put your life essentially on pause for the next 7+ years. I knew so many people during the last downturn that were falling victim to overextension and ended up having to short sale or foreclose on properties, therefore preventing them from being able to take advantage of some of the best opportunities that came about over the last decade. And you may think that these are all obvious and that you'd never have to deal with any of them, but just knowing how much of a negative impact they'll have on your credit and potentially on your future should be that little extra bit of deterrent to cause you to be mindful about the financial decisions that you're making. And through your current financial situation, you're going to want to look at it very, very closely. And it may not look as great as you want it to, but if you overextend yourself on debts, it can be fatal to you. It's all about good planning, great discipline, especially when it comes to big purchases like a home. It can be easy to stretch that budget just bit by bit by bit. And we saw people justify this regularly during the 7 years that I was licensed to originate residential financing. And when we were getting people loans, we saw people time and time again justifying spending an extra $50, $100, $150 each month by bumping their mortgage size. And it's easy to do. We get emotional. If you find yourself thinking about doing that, it might be helpful to just stop, recognize that as your litmus test, and think about a worst case scenario. What happens if your income was cut by half? What if your business started to dry up? What if you ended up having to transition from what you were doing into something completely new? What then? What if you ended up having to move unexpectedly geographically? Would the property then be able to sell? What if the property dipped in value by $100,000, $200,000, $300,000? Would you be able to afford it? Would a tenant be able to help cover your costs? These are questions you're going to want to be evaluating in depth beforehand. Now, just a reminder, our current contest is running to October, and we're giving away a $25 Amazon gift card every single week. So be sure to subscribe, comment below in order to be eligible. Also, we'll be picking one monthly prize winner soon. That's a prize that we're giving out every month for the next 5 months. That prize is a free 2-hour Skype coaching session with me. That's a $2,500 value. And also, it'll enter you into the grand prize of a free flight for 2 to Denver, along with 2 free nights in a hotel, along with one-on-one coaching while you're out here. So, one more thing. For those of you who haven't taken advantage of our complimentary one-on-one coaching session yet, you can also do that by visiting freecoachingcalendar.com. I'm gonna make it easy on you and throw the link in the description below as well. You can see the terms and conditions for the contest there, so just make sure you read up. And one more thing, don't schedule your free coaching session until you're confident that you have at least $500 per month above the minimum cash flow of zero, right? At least positive, on average, $500 per month is necessary before our specialties are going to serve you as well as we need them to. Thanks again, guys, for checking out the channel. We really appreciate your viewership. Until we see you on the next video, make it a great day today and take great care.